Have you ever wondered why Val Kilmer, once one of Hollywood's most enigmatic leading men, suddenly reappeared in the iconic Batman suit only to vanish from the spotlight soon afterward? Some say it was a final tribute, others speculate it hid deeper struggles he never wanted to make public. Regardless of the theories, one fact remains: Val Kilmer's connection to the Dark Knight left an unforgettable mark on fans and cinema alike. Today we're diving into the twists and turns of his journey, one that veered from the heights of acclaim to the quiet, heartbreaking reality of his final days. Stick around because what you learn might challenge everything you thought you knew about Val Kilmer. Early ambitions and breakthroughs. Born in Los Angeles to a family with creative inclinations, Val Kilmer seemed destined for the limelight. From a young age, he was captivated by the idea of performing, honing his craft at the prestigious Juilliard School. Though many aspiring actors dream of that first big role, Kilmer chose an unconventional path, initially dabbling in stage productions and lesser-known indie films. His early steps weren't without challenges. Hollywood isn't exactly known for rolling out the red carpet to newcomers with an artistic bent, yet Kilmer possessed an undeniable presence. Whispered rumors from those early theater days describe him as both intensely focused and remarkably playful, a paradox that would follow him for much of his career. While some labeled him as difficult, others saw him as a true artist unwilling to compromise. Before the cape and cowl entered the picture, he'd already begun carving out a reputation for transformative performances. One of his earliest breakthroughs came with the comedic gem Top Secret, where he showcased a surprising ability for satire and musical performances. Later in the action drama Top Gun, he mesmerized audiences as Iceman, the cool rival to Tom Cruise's Maverick. But as his star rose, so did the stories about on-set disputes and rumored creative clashes. What few people realize is that behind the scenes, Kilmer was drawn more to roles that challenged him artistically rather than those that guaranteed box office success. This aversion to the typical Hollywood path led him to some unexpected corners of the industry. He remained selective, focusing on scripts that offered depth and unique challenges. Little did he know that this exact mindset would eventually land him one of the most scrutinized roles in modern cinema. Stepping into the Batcave, Kilmer's path to the Batcave wasn't lined with the usual pomp and circumstance you'd expect for a star taking over a major franchise. By the mid-1990s, Tim Burton's dark, brooding vision of the Batman universe had taken hold, and Michael Keaton was the face beneath the mask. However, Keaton's departure from the project left the studio scrambling. They needed a replacement who could balance Bruce Wayne's suave persona with Batman's vigilante edge. Rumors swirled that the studio had considered a lengthy roster of A-listers, each with a specific charm or fan base that could keep the momentum going. But when Michael Keaton firmly stepped aside, Val Kilmer, fresh off notable successes yet still enigmatic enough to spark audience curiosity, became the unexpected choice. Legend has it that he agreed to don the cape without even reading the script, assuming a major studio wouldn't steer its prized superhero astray. Yet behind the scenes, not everything was so clear-cut. Whispers hinted that he felt uneasy about stepping into shoes previously worn by Keaton, an actor fans had grown to love in the role. Still, Kilmer's commitment to giving his all to a character meant he approached Batman not just as a brooding figure in a cape, but as a fractured man grappling with dual identities. At the time, Batman fans were abuzz with anticipation. Would Kilmer live up to the mysterious intensity of Burton's original vision, or would he forge a different path entirely? Though the film Batman Forever went on to become a financial success, some detect signs that Kilmer wasn't entirely satisfied with the direction. Certain interviews hinted that he found the shift in tone jarring, less willing to fully embrace the comic book camp than the studio desired. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: stepping into the Batcave was a turning point, altering Kilmer's life in ways he never anticipated. Onset controversies and struggles. Big budgets and star-studded casts often bring large egos and creative differences. Batman Forever was no exception. Director Joel Schumacher aimed for a more vibrant, flashy take on Gotham City, a stark contrast to Tim Burton's moody, gothic style. Kilmer, known for his serious approach, reportedly clashed with this direction. Some crew members recounted tense moments when he'd challenged certain lines or questioned the motivations behind specific scenes. Rumors also pointed to friction between Kilmer and his co-stars. Was it rivalry? Was it simply his method acting clashing with a lighter, comedic atmosphere on set? The stories vary. One rumor held that Kilmer would occasionally retreat into silence for hours, frustrating colleagues. Another suggested he engaged in intense arguments about how Batman should be portrayed, preferring the masked hero to remain complex and haunted rather than comedic. Even fans picked up on these whispers, which circulated through pop culture magazines of the time. Interviewers occasionally prodded the actor for details, but he'd evade direct questions, choosing to focus on the grandeur of the Batman legend. Still, talk of these behind-the-scenes struggles persisted. By the time Batman Forever wrapped, Hollywood insiders speculated Kilmer might not return for a sequel. They were right. By the next installment, George Clooney was wearing the cape. But the intriguing part is that Kilmer rarely publicly aired his grievances. Instead, he left fans wondering about the real reasons behind his quick exit. Some say the colorful production simply wasn't his style. Others theorize he felt overshadowed by the film's comedic elements and star-packed cast. Or perhaps, deep down, he longed for creative control that only more independent projects could provide. One thing was clear, the Batman role, though monumental, came with complications that would follow him for years. Life after the cape. After Batman Forever, Kilmer found himself in an odd position. On one hand, he'd achieved global recognition as one of the iconic Batmen in cinematic history. On the other, the film's lighter tone left him conflicted, and critics were divided about whether the role truly showcased his abilities. Eager to explore different directions, he delved into a series of eclectic projects. Some soared, and others quietly fizzled out. One highlight was his portrayal of legendary gunslinger Doc Holliday in Tombstone, where he delivered a performance that many still hold as one of his finest. Another was The Saint, which tested his chameleon-like range, letting him slip into multiple disguises. Yet even amid success, the shadow of Batman loomed large in the public's consciousness. Interviews occasionally circled back to his time as Bruce Wayne. While some actors might bask in the nostalgia, Kilmer seemed to bristle at the constant references, hinting that his short tenure in Gotham felt unfinished, or perhaps just misunderstood. Meanwhile, rumors circulated about his temperament on set, painting him as difficult or even unapproachable. Kilmer, for his part, often brushed off such talk as misconceptions or fabrications. But negative press can stick, shaping a star's reputation in ways that are hard to undo. With the rise of internet forums, fans weighed in endlessly on his rumored spats, creating an online swirl of controversies that followed him into every new project. Through it all, he maintained a sense of artistic conviction. He'd take roles in smaller films, cameo and offbeat television spots, and even consider returning to the stage. Anything to feed his creative spirit. It's in these lesser-known appearances that we see a glimmer of the man behind the headlines. Dedicated, passionate, and unwilling to compromise for mere celebrity. Yet with each passing year, the question lingered. Would he ever revisit Gotham, or was his relationship with Batman truly over? Health battles and personal challenges. As time marched on, fans and media alike noticed Kilmer retreating further from the public sphere. People whispered about his health, noting a more gravelly voice and fewer appearances at red carpet events. It wasn't until much later that he revealed a long struggle with throat cancer, a battle that would deeply affect his ability to speak. True to his private nature, Kilmer initially dismissed concerns, attributing his slimmer frame and altered voice to other issues. But word eventually got out, triggering an outpouring of support from fans around the globe. Despite these challenges, he still found ways to perform, sometimes using assistive devices to speak, other times relying on the power of body language in quieter roles. He faced more than just physical hurdles. Prolonged health struggles can weigh heavily on a person's psyche, and Kilmer was no exception. Though rarely mentioning it in interviews, he grappled with questions about how his illness would affect his career, identity, and artistic fulfillment. Even so, he never lost that spark of determination. He gave heartfelt appearances when he could, and occasionally teased fans with the possibility of returning to beloved characters. During these years, rumors about potential comebacks took on a life of their own. Some claimed he was in talks for cameo roles in big franchises. Others floated the idea of him writing a memoir to reveal untold stories from his Batman days. Meanwhile, he dropped cryptic hints on social media. Photos from set visits, references to iconic lines, or personal musings on life and art. Each glimpse kept the public guessing, fueling speculation about what might come next. The shocking comeback and final Batman suit post. When Val Kilmer shared a photo of himself in the classic Batman suit on Instagram, fans went wild. The image was both nostalgic and jarring. There stood Kilmer, older and visibly different due to his health battles, yet still exuding the aura of Gotham's silent guardian. The post's caption was minimalist, offering few details, which only heightened the frenzy. Was this just a tribute for fans? A hidden clue about a top-secret project? Within hours, social media lit up with theories. Some insisted he was staging a full-on comeback, perhaps a cameo in a new DC film or a streaming series that would pay homage to past iterations of Batman. Others believed it was simply Kilmer's way of saying goodbye, an emotional salute to a role that defined him in the public eye, even if it wasn't always a comfortable fit. News outlets jumped on the story, speculating whether Warner Brothers was quietly courting him for a cameo or if he was involved in promotional tie-ins. Every new bit of gossip pulled in more fans, who reminisced about the mid-90s hype surrounding Batman Forever, but Kilmer remained tight-lipped, letting the buzz fester. It was a masterstroke of mystique, reminding the world that he still had an uncanny ability to command attention, yet behind the curtain, his health was a pressing concern. Friends and insiders hinted that the Instagram post might be more of a personal milestone than a strategic career move. The fact that he could still wear the suit, despite everything, was a testament to his resilience. It sparked conversations about what it means to truly say farewell to an iconic role. Kilmer, ever the mystery, offered no definitive answers, leaving fans to wonder if they'd just witnessed his last heroic stand. Rumors, revelations, and final days. As fans hoped for a triumphant return, rumors ran rampant. Some speculated that Kilmer had indeed filmed short scenes for a new DC multiverse storyline, an open door for cameos by past Bat actors. Others argued that the photo was simply a nod to fans, with no bigger plan attached. Meanwhile, Kilmer's personal life grew more cloistered. Acquaintances reported he was battling pneumonia complications, forcing him to turn down offers, even those that required minimal screen time. Hospital visits and periods of recuperation became more frequent, yet he seemed resolute in maintaining a sense of dignity and poise. When news of his passing hit, the industry paused in collective disbelief. He'd been a figure of rumor for so long, someone who might pop back into the spotlight at any moment, that the reality of his death felt surreal. Colleagues from his past, including those from the Batman franchise, shared heartfelt tributes. Michael Keaton and other key figures who once wore the cowl or shaped the Batman mythos spoke of Kilmer's dedication to the craft, but it was fans who delivered the most poignant messages. Many recalled the excitement they felt seeing him wear the cape, while others highlighted his other roles that showcased a broader range than any single character could. Even amid controversy and speculation, it was clear Kilmer had left an undeniable mark. Social media became a flood of memories, from nostalgic Batman references to clips of his lesser-known indie performances. Lasting legacy and surprise and note. In the days and weeks following his passing, a deeper appreciation for Kilmer emerged. People revisited his roles, not just in Batman Forever, but in Tombstone, The Doors, and countless smaller projects where he delivered fearless portrayals. Critics who once labeled him difficult admitted that perhaps his intensity was the price of unwavering artistic conviction. Beyond the big screen, stories emerged of Kilmer's quieter acts of kindness. He was involved in philanthropic endeavors, supporting youth art programs, and engaging with fans who'd reached out during his health struggles. For someone whose public image was often defined by rumors, these revelations painted a portrait of a complex man, far from perfect, but undeniably passionate and empathetic. Some say the Instagram post of him in the Batsuit was more than just a nostalgic flourish. It was a carefully timed gesture that hinted at his acceptance of the role's profound impact on his life. While he might have yearned for deeper cinematic expressions, he knew how much the Dark Knight symbolized hope, perseverance, and a bit of mystery. In wearing the suit one last time, he offered a closing chapter to a story that fans never truly wanted to end. Whether or not he intended to return to the role in a broader capacity is a question that may remain unanswered. Yet in a way, that lingering uncertainty fits Kilmer's personal style. His career was marked by unpredictability, bold choices, and a refusal to be confined by expectations, characteristics that echo Gotham's greatest detective in more ways than one. Conclusion. Val Kilmer's final bow as Batman wasn't just another Hollywood post to rack up likes. It was a heartfelt gesture from a man wrestling with his own legacy. For years, he navigated the choppy waters of blockbuster fame, critical scrutiny, and private battles that tested his spirit. Yet, despite everything, from onset clashes to life-altering health issues, he never lost the spark that fueled his ambition and artistry. Today, fans remember him as more than just another actor who wore the cape. They recall the determined performer who brought an undercurrent of gravity to Gotham and took risks that others might have shied away from. In his last days, Kilmer demonstrated the same tenacity he displayed on screen, fighting through health struggles to remain connected with those who admired him. Ultimately, the question isn't whether Val Kilmer was the definitive Batman, opinions will always differ, but rather how his journey resonates long after the cameras stopped rolling. Is it possible that his struggles, his unwavering dedication to craft, and his final mysterious post in the cape all serve as a reminder of something deeper? That even our heroes are human, vulnerable, and capable of inspiring us in ways we never anticipate. Perhaps that lingering wonder is the true legacy he leaves behind, and maybe, just maybe, that last glimpse of him standing proud in the Batcave was more than a costume. It was his parting gift to a world that's always searching for a real-life superhero, even if we sometimes fail to see the struggles hidden beneath the mask.